Hi, Randy Jessen here with a brief conversation about your mentored ministry assignments. As you know, we're going to be starting our case studies this week. And so individual members of your groups will be presenting case studies, and you will be responding to those case studies. So let me highlight the guidelines for this process. Those of you who are presenting case studies, thanks so much for going early in the process. And for those of you who are responding to the studies, let's commit to this particular structure. Let's commit to making sure that we post an initial response to the case study that's posted. The postings will be happening on Monday morning. They should be posted by 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, so that everybody will have a fair chance to be able to read them, engage them, pray about them, and then to be able to respond. I want you to respond prior to Wednesday. Mark it on your calendar, just like you were meeting together in a physical classroom, that you're going to be meeting with your small group prior to Wednesday. If you post towards the end of the week, it really has very little value to our conversation, because we're going to be getting ready to wrap up that conversation and move on to the next week. So post early in the week. So Monday or Tuesday is ideal to be able to post. Make sure that you do that. By the way, you may not even receive credit for your posting if it posts late or if it posts beyond the schedule. It simply is invalid because it doesn't have any connection to the real conversation. Now let's use these conversations not just as a practice experience to be able to say that we're sort of kind of pretending that we're in ministry. You all are in real ministry situations. And if you were in a real live ministry situation with a long-term setting outside of this mentored ministry course, you probably would have a small group of pastors that you would meet with. I do. I have a group of pastors I meet with, and I meet pretty regularly with them. And I have a chance to be able to talk about this same process that we're going through. We do case studies together. We have circumstances that we might present and talk about it from different perspectives and say, what would be the best practice issue that we would want to put into play in this particular circumstance? And so let's use this as a real life experience. Let's be kind to one another. That's rule number one. Be kind to one another. We're working together on a whole variety of situations and circumstances, and let's respond with thoughtful, prayerful, intuitive kinds of insights that are really going to be helpful to the long-term journey. Now, as we begin this process, each week as it unfolds, a new student in your group will be posting, and we will all be coming together around that conversation. By the end of the week, we're asking the person who is doing the posting, who's presenting the case study, to post the actual outcome. What action did they actually take, or what do they anticipate taking? What kind of action they anticipate taking, or what kind of learning have they had just because of our experience together? What kind of insights have they gained? And we'll sort of wrap up each week's conversation with that kind of insight. Now, for those of you who are posting with your weekly Monday and Tuesday experiences, you will notice that there's an outline, a guideline that we would invite you to follow. Now, you don't have to be locked into that guideline, but let's use that as a thoughtful way to process the material. If you stay within the framework of the outline, you'll be really home free. But you don't need to stay lockstep in tune with it. Let's use it like it's a real conversation that we're having around actual ministry values. Now, remember this: ministry, effective ministry, is always about relationships. It's always about relationships. There is no ministry with us just being in isolation by ourselves. It's about the way that we interact with people to bring the reality of the gospel into their life and to be able to help to resolve issues so the gospel can be heard in a situation where anxiety is reduced and the kingdom of God can come to bear on the life of an individual or within the context of a group. So let's keep that in mind, that we're thinking about relationships with real people. Remember your confidentiality issues. Let's don't violate one another's confidentiality, and please don't violate the confidentiality of people in your congregation or your ministry setting by violating something in the case study that you present. Read the case study guideline document and be sure that you follow along with that so that you can add all the insights that are necessary. It's a good process. It's a very healthy process. I will be interacting with you along the way. I'll be asking some questions and exploring some possibilities, and mostly I'll be asking questions that relate to your leadership style and intuitive things that you understand about yourself, or maybe pieces that you might understand about the situation that otherwise don't seem to be coming to the surface. But it'll be a good process together. I'm excited about it. So let's work together. Let's do a great job of interacting through the rest of the semester around the case studies. It's really the primary work that we're going to do. By the way, thank you to all of you who have gotten your mentor covenants in. If you still haven't gotten your mentor covenant in, I need that. I need that as soon as possible. You know, your goals that you're setting, those are important conversations to be able to set the stage for the direction that we're heading. As we get to the end of our semester, the next step will be to gather your self-evaluations and your mentor evaluations. So stay in close touch with your ministry setting mentor to be able to be sure that you are creating a conversation that can be used for that final evaluation process. Use your goals to be the focus of that evaluation, and you'll be right on target. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm excited about it, and I'm blessed by the fact that you are a part of the group. I take my grade book, and I use that as a prayer list. So I've been praying for you, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. And I look forward to continuing to pray for you and continuing to think about how we can work and serve together. Thanks for taking time to watch this brief video. Let's work together to accomplish something good for the kingdom of God. God bless you all. See you real soon.